In this video, I want to address some of the news that's happening around tariffs and some related topics. And I'm going to use this CNBC article as a jumping off point. Trump could scale back Canada-Mexico tariffs Wednesday, Lutnick said. The reason I want to talk about this is that it's indicative of the general uncertainty that's happening right now, and I want to talk about how that affects my plans for early retirement. Now, recently my spidey sense was telling me that something was about to happen that was bad. I think it was right around the time of the original tariff announcement about a month ago that was paused for a month. Around that time, I changed my asset allocation to get more conservative. Instead of my normal 80% stocks, 20% bonds, I dropped that. I'm now much closer to something like 65% stocks, 35% bonds, and cash equivalents. So a lot lighter on the stocks, a lot more stable assets, fixed income and short-term assets. And I don't think it's a great idea to try to time the market like this, but we were at or near all-time market highs. Things feel expensive, and I'm a guy who is on the verge of early retirement. I don't need full-on pedal to the metal growth right now. What I need is stability and some certainty. And if the market goes up at all, whether it goes way up or up a little bit, I'm looking great. If we have a major correction or worse, I want to be in a situation where it doesn't completely derail my early retirement plans for, a year or multiple years, and I have to put it off, because that would be pretty devastating. Here I am just before the finish line, looking at early retirement. It's so close I can taste it. And what a shame it would be to have an early retirement rug pull here at the last minute. All right, so let's take a look at this CNBC article. President Donald Trump will probably announce tariff compromise deals with Canada and Mexico soon, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said Tuesday. Probably. I mean, this is indicative of the uncertainty that's just everywhere right now. Probably doesn't sit well with me when we're talking about major tariffs on close allies and trading partners. The potential agreements would likely involve scaling back at least part of Trump's brand new 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada. Lutnick's comments came minutes after the U.S. stock market limped to a close for a second day of sharp declines, spurred at least in part by investors' fears that Trump's aggressive policies will ignite a crippling trade war. Yay. So yeah, over the past couple days, maybe longer than that actually, but I think from market highs, the S&P is down about 5% at this point. So we're not quite in correction territory, but we're getting there. And today was absolutely a roller coaster because it started off straight down. I think we got as low as like 1.8% on the S&P I remember seeing. And then it bounced back up to into the green at some point during the day. And then we finished back down about 1.22% down on the day. So absolutely a wild ride. But at the end of the day, the trend seems to be down right now. After his remarks, stock futures tied to all three major averages rose. The compromises with Canada and Mexico will likely be revealed as soon as Wednesday, Lutnick said on Fox Business. Oh, compromises will be revealed on Wednesday. And actually, Trump is doing a talk to Congress this evening, and maybe this will be one of the things that he talks about there. This whole crazy amount of uncertainty, like what is going on? What are these tariffs supposed to accomplish? What does success look like? If this is a negotiating strategy, what are we negotiating for? What does he want to get out of it? Because if it's about this whole fentanyl thing, Canada's already taken all these steps to address it, and so I don't think that's exactly it. While the cabinet secretary did not specify what Trump would agree to, he suggested that the president would be willing to meet Canada and Mexico in the middle. In the middle of what? Right? What? It's also vague. He also appeared to foreclose on the possibility that Trump would lift the tariffs entirely. Okay, so they're not going to just go away, but they could be lessened. So meet in the middle. I mean, if we're at 25% tariffs, and does meet in the middle mean 12.5% tariffs? Who the heck knows what this is all about? The Trump administration on Tuesday reimposed sweeping 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports after putting them on pause for a month. Yeah, about a month ago, it was like, put on these tariffs, and then it was immediately, psych, take them off. And it feels like we're doing something similar now. Like this is all just like toying around with the world, toying around with all of us. Again, it's this crazy uncertainty and doesn't make for a good environment to feel confident about retiring early, that's for sure. Trump, who has held up tariffs as an all-powerful negotiating tool, based the policy on allegations that the neighboring countries were failing to stem the flow of drugs and crime into the U.S. Both the Mexicans and the Canadians are on the phone with me all day today trying to show that they'll do better. Lutnick said Tuesday afternoon. And the president is listening to me because, he's very, very fair and very reasonable. So I think he's going to work something out with them, he said. These are total bully tactics, but I'm just not sure what he's trying to get out of it. Is he just trying to go after Canada and Mexico's lunch money? Don't know. Lutnick described a deal in which Canada and Mexico agreed to do more. Do more of what? At which point Trump would meet you in the middle some way. This is also vague and mysterious. We're going to probably be announcing that tomorrow, he said. Lutnick said the announcement would not be another pause. It's possible Lutnick doesn't even know. That's why he's saying probably, because no one knows what the hell is going on from day to day. The comments came hours before Trump was set to deliver a primetime address to a joint session of Congress. So this is just one example of this chaotic and uncertain environment that we're in right now, economically especially, and again, for somebody who is going to be retiring in the next few months, it's looking a little tricky. It's looking like I might get the rug pull here. And of course, I could just make the leap and go for it, but I feel a lot less confident about making that move than I did previously. And the other uncertainty, of course, is the whole Affordable Care Act thing. Is that going to stick around past the end of this year? Will it be changed? Will it be axed entirely and replaced with nothing? Again, no one knows. No one seems to have the answers. There's no plan. I hope that things stabilize and work out here, because right now it's looking like, as far as my early retirement goes, I'm going to have to put it on pause, just like Trump's tariffs. Now, perhaps I shouldn't even worry about any of this. You can only control what you can control. And I certainly can't control what a presidential administration does. But one thing that makes FIRE work so well is knowing the rules and working within the rules, taking full advantage of the rules as they exist to build wealth, spend less money, and achieve financial freedom. But this strategy requires a certain level of stability and being able to anticipate what's coming down the road. And right now, I don't feel like I know what's coming down the road. But perhaps I just need to have more optimism. Maybe I should follow my own advice when I said this. Like with so many things in early retirement, we can't predict the future. We don't have all the answers. At some point, we have to take the leap. The worst case, we go back to a full-time job to get that health insurance that we need. But honestly, things will probably work out. If we don't take that leap, we'll never know what could have been. We've got to have the courage to walk away from that job that's holding us back, move on into a new phase of life, and see where that takes us.